First.
We are working to learn tonight when charges will be filed over a weekend shooting in Rockford. The incident happened Saturday evening just before 5:30 on Prial Avenue. Rockford police say a 40-year-old man was shot multiple times in a domestic incident there. He was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. His current condition is unknown. We also have an update for you tonight from Rockford police on that child hit by a car over the weekend. We brought this to you yesterday. Officials say the 6-year-old boy is now stable in the hospital. That accident happened Sunday afternoon. We're told the boy was riding his bike on Michigan Avenue near Memorial Christian Methodist Church when a driver hit the child. The driver reportedly stayed on the scene and called 911. The boy was taken to the hospital, again in the hospital, stable with serious injuries.
An Illinois senator renews efforts to protect.
In a way, it's why in Illinois we see women traveling from as far as Texas to come to Illinois to seek reproductive health care. It's not just the women coming to Illinois to seek an abortion.
Two Senate Republicans, Ted Cruz and Katie Britt, introduced legislation last month that would take Medicaid funding away from states if they have put a ban on IVF.
A Roscoe woman finds her passion helping support burn survivors. On Saturday, her organization Through the Flames will host its first volleyball tournament fundraiser.
Blake Dietz stopped by Park Lane's volleyball courts to learn more. And Blake, this cause is a personal one.
It certainly is, Mimi. Wendell, Stacy Moore tells me she was inspired to do more for burn survivors following the passing of her father, who she says saved her life after she suffered serious burns of her own. Moore experienced third-degree burns over more than 90% of her body following a campfire accident. Her father's quick thinking, carrying Moore to a nearby creek, likely prevented the accident from becoming a tragedy. Now, she's looking to support fellow survivors and honor her father's bravery.
After losing my dad, I just realized that I really need to find a way to share my story to honor him. So that's why I started all of this, and people are listening to my story, and I realized that there's healing within my story, that I can be the light for just one person and change the direction of one person's life. Then I know that my dad's life meant something and that he won't be forgotten.
Now all proceeds from the volleyball fundraiser will go to Camp I Am Me. That's a week-long camp for young burn survivors. More information can be found on our website, mystateline.com. Wendell.
Thank you very much, Blake. In Rock County, the Rock River is under a no-wake order. Now, that means any boats in the river must use or go slowly as possible while maintaining proper steering. Water levels in the Rock River are 2 feet higher in some places than normal, and parts of the river are also under a flood warning in both Rock and Winnebago counties. The water levels are expected to continue to rise throughout the rest of the week.
And a warning for Rockford drivers. Construction will create a nightly shutdown on a portion of Bypass 20 for the next month. US 20 will close between Mulford and Alpine roads starting at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. The road will reopen the next morning at 5. This will happen Sunday through Thursday during the month of June. Detours will be provided. The closure is part of a nearly $100 million reconstruction of the I-39 and US 20 interchange. Construction is expected to be finished by the end of the year.
More fireworks on Capitol Hill as the U.S. Attorney General testifies.
Up next, Republican lawmakers grill the chief law enforcement officer over his handling of the Justice Department.
And coming up tonight at 6, 4 people in the hospital after a crash. This crash in Freeport. We have an update on this investigation.
Keeping an eye on a couple of thunderstorms just to the south of us. These are lifting to the north. Right now, gusty winds will be our biggest threat. A look at how long these storms are expected to stick around coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Welcome back. Republican lawmakers grilled U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland today over what they say is a weaponization of the Justice Department.
Maddie Beertemple reports Garland and Democrats pushed back, calling the allegations baseless.
I will not be intimidated, and the Justice Department will not be intimidated.
That was Attorney General Merrick Garland's message to House Republicans who accused the Justice Department of targeting former President Donald Trump.
For the first time in American history, we do have a presidential administration that's working to put its opponent in jail.
The Attorney General pushed back, saying the DOJ had nothing to do with Trump's conviction in New York State Court, calling the allegations dangerous.
It raises the threats of violence against prosecutors and career agents.
Republicans also railed against the DOJ's refusal to turn over audio recordings of special counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Biden. The transcript from the classified documents case is already public.
Substantively, the transcript may be accurate, but you know what? The audio would tell us so much more.
Garland said releasing the audio would have a chilling effect on future investigations. Democrats also defended the DOJ against accusations of politicization, pointing to the federal Hunter Biden trial.
These Republicans don't care what's in the interest of the American people. They just care about getting their favorite felon back in the White House.
They say this hearing isn't really about oversight of the Justice Department, but Speaker Mike Johnson says it is.
Stakes are too high, and because people are losing faith in our institutions, and that, at the end of the day, is something that should concern every single one of us.
He says Congress will soon take steps to restore that faith. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beertemple.
If you stepped outside, it was a gorgeous day today.
Yeah.
But more showers and thunderstorms could move through the state line tonight.
After the break, Candace times out our rain chances and tells us when we'll dry out.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we have had some cloud cover fill back in over the last couple of hours. Now that we're starting to see some showers and thunderstorms slowly begin to work in from the south here this evening. And this will continue kind of as waves of showers and thunderstorms lift in from south to north. We had one wave of rain move in just the last couple of hours. The thunderstorm now just to the northwest of Janesville, but we keep an eye on the line of thunderstorms working in just north of I-80 here. These will continue to lift to the north, all tied into an area of low pressure that is now near Davenport. That low will work in our direction here through this evening, so keep those scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least the coverage of that going through the evening. As I mentioned, we're keeping an eye on that thunderstorm there just to the north across northern Rock County. Also keeping an eye on a couple of thunderstorms that are now moving just to the west of Princeton. This is just south of Whiteside and Lee counties as these continue to slowly drift to the north and northeast at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Biggest threats right now going to be the lightning and the heavy downpours and the slow nature of some of these thunderstorms where we see repeated rounds of showers and storms tonight. There could be some areas of localized flooding, but the strongest storms will be capable of producing winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. So that's why we have that isolated severe risk with any thunderstorm that develops here throughout this evening as that low pressure system comes through. So all storms throughout the night, lightning, heavy downpours, the strongest storms, as I mentioned, going to be capable of those 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some smaller sized hail. So heads up for you folks in southern Whiteside, Lee County. Those storms will be working in your direction first. We should see scattered activity. And when I say scattered, it means just that. Some areas will pick up on some heavy rainfall. Some may not get much rain at all. And that'll continue as that low moves a little closer to us. But we'll continue with that rain threat, not only as that low lifts to the north, but we also have a cold front moving in from the west. That front right now providing severe thunderstorms across the plains in the upper Midwest. We're not expecting that severe threat to continue for tonight. In fact, heavy rainfall will be our biggest concern. That'll take us into tomorrow morning. By sunrise, we'll see kind of the tail end of some of these showers moving in by about 8, 9 o'clock. Last bit of those rain showers moving off to the east of us. I do anticipate our skies to quickly clear out going into tomorrow afternoon. So we do see a return of the sunshine, but moisture moving back in with a second cold front will bring back some of the cloud cover and a few scattered rain showers as we look into tomorrow evening. Those will pass to the east of us by Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds Thursday afternoon. I will say Thursday looks to be a pretty windy day. Winds will come in from the northwest at about 35 miles per hour. A spotty shower or two cannot completely be ruled out Thursday late afternoon and evening just with the heating of the day, but then we'll dry things out again as we look into the weekend. We are back up to 83 in Rockford, 82 right now in Rochelle, Sterling. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa, 81 degrees. Dew point sits at 67, so still quite a bit of moisture out there and quite a bit of humidity too. A light southeasterly wind at 9 miles per hour. 68, that's where we'll head for the night tonight. It'll be another warm and muggy night. We don't completely get rid of that humidity until we get into tomorrow afternoon once that cold front passes. Upper 70s, low 80s for tomorrow, 75 on Thursday. We'll maintain the 70s actually as we head in through the end of the week and going into the weekend and even to kick off next week.
Thank you very much, Candace.
Scott's in next with sports. It's Chicago against Chicago tonight on the Baseball Diamond. Scott looks ahead to the first Crosstown Classic matchup.
And Caleb Williams has another great opportunity this week to get a feel for his Bears teammates.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
One Chicago baseball team will get some relief from its misery tonight at Wrigley Field. The White Sox and Cubs will go head-to-head in the first game of a brief two-game series. Chris Flexen and Shota Imanaga will be the starting pitchers. Sox have lost their last 11 games. The Cubs have dropped 9 in their last 11. Game time is 7:05, weather permitting. Overall, in this crosstown classic over the years, the Sox have the lead. They won 74 games. The Cubs have won 68. Major League Baseball has cleared Shohei Ohtani of any wrongdoing in that gambling scandal involving his former interpreter. MLB officials made that decision quickly today after the interpreter pled guilty in court to bank and tax fraud. MLB officials say Ohtani was simply a victim of fraud on the part of that former interpreter, who allegedly stole $17 million of Ohtani's money to place illegal sports bets and to pay off gambling debts. Well, the Bears were back at work today at Hallis Hall for the first day of minicamp. Their OTA workouts in recent weeks were voluntary. This camp is mandatory. Caleb Williams performed well, but he was picked off by safety Kevin Byard. The defense dominated the offense in the 2-minute drill workouts. Bears will be on the practice field again tomorrow and on Thursday. Well, running backs do still get paid in the NFL if their name is Christian McCaffrey. The 49ers have extended his contract by 2 more years, making him under contract for a total of 4 years. He'll make an average of $19 million a season with the new deal. McCaffrey accounted for more than 2,000 yards of offense and 21 touchdowns last season. Novak Djokovic won't be repeating as the men's French Open champion this year. He's withdrawn from the tournament with a knee injury. He tore the meniscus in his right knee in a match Monday. We'll see if he can be ready to go for Wimbledon. That starts July the 1st. Hey, pro wrestling will be back in action in Rockford this Saturday night. Damage Inc. Pro Wrestling will hold its latest show called Summer Brawl 2024. Wrestlers will climb into the ring. They include Vic Capri, Aaron Xavier, Bosnia War Child, Shelley the Bombshell, and the Brothers of Construction. It'll happen as usual at the Teamsters Hall on South 11th Street. The doors open at 5:30. The action will begin at 6:30. For more info, go to DamageIncProWrestling.com. That's sports. We'll be right back.
It's kind of looked like it could rain for a lot of the afternoon, but now it looks like the showers are actually moving closer.
Yeah, we've got some rain and a few thunderstorms beginning to work in. We had one little round of some light rainfall kind of work in earlier this afternoon. While most of us have a break from that, we're keeping an eye on some thunderstorms that are just to the south of us. There's a small risk that some of those thunderstorms could grow to severe limits, with primarily 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts being our main concern. Now, we've got the First Warn interactive radar on mystateline.com. That's where you can follow along with a lot of the thunderstorms as they move through. Keeping an eye, as I mentioned, on some of those storms. There's a severe thunderstorm warning just south of the Whiteside and Lee County line. Should that storm hold together, we may see that extended a little further northward, but nonetheless, some very heavy rainfall along with some gustier winds. As these storms travel to the north and northeast, we'll maintain those scattered thunderstorms here as we look through the evening.
All right, thanks, Candace.
We'll see you tonight at 6. Tonight on Eyewitness News at 9, the national civil rights groups. Here that begin. On Eyewitness News at 9, 2 national civil rights groups suing the Rockford Public Schools for targeting black students, how the district is responding. And the update on that police standoff in Freeport that's coming up on Eyewitness News on Fox 39. Tonight on Eyewitness News at 9, 2 national civil rights groups suing the Rockford Public Schools for targeting black students, how the district is responding. And we have an update on this crash in Freeport. It's all coming up on Eyewitness News on Fox 39 tonight at 9.
Keeping an eye on some thunderstorms as those move through tonight, when they're expected to move out tonight at 9. A few stronger thunderstorms will be possible later tonight. Timing those out when you join me at 10. Now I will. Scattered thunderstorms continue tonight. How long those will stick around Wednesday? When you join me at 10. Scattered thunderstorms will continue throughout the night. How long those will last into Wednesday? When you join me at 10.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Right now at 6, a complaint filed. Rockford Public Schools
If I really want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first. Sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
we are starting to see more showers and thunderstorms move in from the south here late this afternoon and evening, a trend that'll continue over the next several hours. Now, not one location will get a widespread rainfall, but more scattered heavy rain will take us through this evening. All of this tied into an area of low pressure that is now moving across west central Illinois. As this continues to lift to the north, we'll continue to see those scattered thunderstorms. You see the severe thunderstorm warnings out to the west over the plains. That is where the cold front sits, and that front moves through later tonight. Isolated severe threat with any storm that does move through. Biggest impacts would be some gusty winds, but also some pretty heavy rainfall with some localized heavy rain coming down. Temperatures right now are in the upper 70s and low 80s, 83 in Rockford, 81 currently in Dixon, and you sit at 80 degrees right now in Harvard. As we go throughout this evening, scattered thunderstorms are expected to continue. Rainfall through the night tonight. That'll come to an end tomorrow with a cooler pattern setting in. How long that is expected to stick around coming up in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Right now at 6, a complaint filed against Rockford Public Schools accused of racial discrimination and targeting.
Plus, after hours of negotiations, a police standoff in the state line ends. The incident that prompted SWAT teams to shut down a neighborhood.
There's not enough darkness in all of the world to put out the light of even one small candle.
And a local woman inspired to act, using her own personal story to make her mess her message.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. Thanks for joining us. A civil rights complaint filed against Rockford Public Schools.
The groups claim the district unlawfully targets students of color. The National Center for Youth Law and the MacArthur Justice Center filed the complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. The 25-page report claims Rockford police officers have been addressing minor behaviors that should be handled by school leaders or parents. It also states black students were 3 times more likely than white students to be sent to a school police officer, and black students are more likely to get ticketed. An attorney with the National Center for Youth Law says Black students in Rockford Public Schools have been made to feel unwelcome, and their experiences have been starkly different from those of their white peers. These students are entitled to a quality education, and they shouldn't be fast-tracked into nor indebted to a municipal ticketing system. The complaint ends by asking the Office for Civil Rights to mandate the district revise disciplinary procedures. RPS 205 told us in a statement they have not been made aware the complaint's been filed. There is an RPS School Board Committee meeting going on right now. We have been told no one will be commenting on the complaint.
A 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, both with their parents tonight, released from police after police arrested them for burglary. Police say they were found with 2 stolen cars. Early this morning, Rockford police officers were on a call when they saw 6 young people from an underground parking garage on North Court Street. 2 were caught. Officers found 2 stolen cars, one out of Rockford, the other from Rochelle. The 2 are charged with possession of burglary tools. Take a look at this car crash in Freeport just before noon today. The fire department was called to the intersection of Galena and Iroquois for this. 4 people were taken to the hospital. We know 2 cars were involved. 1 hit a pole, knocking it over. There's heavy damage to the front of the black car. And just take a look. Basically, the trunk of the red car is just gone. The intersection was closed for a while as police investigated the crash, but it has since been reopened.
The standoff between police and a suspect in Janesville is over. Within just the last 30 minutes, police say the man was found dead inside the home. Officers responded to a domestic violence incident around 3 this morning at a home near West Court Street in Washington. The officers say they were talking with a man when he fired several shots at them. No officers were hurt, but that's when SWAT was called in. After several hours of attempted negotiations and other tactical operations, police say the man was found inside. Law enforcement did not fire any shots. Eyewitness News is committed to supporting survivors of domestic violence. We do have a list of local resources that can help. Just go to our website, mystateline.com, and click on the State Line Strong tab.
3 allies of former President Donald Trump now face felony charges in Wisconsin. They're accused of filing elector paperwork, falsely claiming that Trump won that battleground state in 2020. Defendants include 2 attorneys and an aide. All 3 are due in court in September. They face up to 6 years in prison and fines of up to $10,000. 4 other states have filed charges linked to that fake elector scheme.
Senate Democrats on Capitol Hill are renewing efforts to protect and expand access to in vitro fertilization. Senator Tammy Duckworth is spearheading 2 proposals. One would create a nationwide right to IVF. It also extends to doctors who perform the procedure and insurance companies to cover the costs. Duckworth tried to get this passed through unanimous consent back in February, but the effort was blocked by a Republican senator from Mississippi.
Who live in some of these other states are seeing their rights taken away. It's why in Illinois we see women traveling from as far as Texas to come to Illinois to seek reproductive health care. It's not just the women coming to Illinois to seek an abortion.
In Springfield, during the past legislative session, lawmakers passed a bill aimed at getting rid of the limit on the number of rounds of IVF treatment insurance companies will cover. That's waiting for the governor's signature.
Right now, if AT&T is your carrier, a nationwide outage is affecting customers. The company says the issue is preventing customers from completing calls with anyone using a different phone carrier. Calls between AT&T customers are not affected. AT&T says it's working to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. The company also says it got some alerts that accidentally triggered, saying that the issue is impacting calls to 911, but AT&T says calls to 911 are not affected.
A Roscoe woman finds her passion helping support burn survivors. This weekend, her organization, Through the Flames, will host its first volleyball tournament fundraiser.
Blake Dietz stopped by Park Lane's volleyball courts to learn more, and Blake, this cause is personal.
Yeah, it certainly. Wendell, Mimi, Stacey Moore tells me she was inspired to do more for burn survivors following the passing of her father, who she says saved her life after she suffered serious burns of her own.
I've kept my story to myself for so long, and after losing my dad, I just realized that I really need to find a way to share my story to honor him.
Stacey Moore says she remembers her tragic accident like it was yesterday.
Back in 1986, I was sitting too close to a campfire, and my uncle poured gasoline on a fire to try to ignite it to keep mosquitoes away, and unfortunately the fire exploded and I was caught on fire.
Moore suffered third-degree burns to over 90% of her body, and if it wasn't for the quick thinking of her father, who picked up Moore and brought her into a nearby creek, she says she might not be here today. It's that memory that inspires Moore to support other survivors.
Back in 2022, my father passed away in March, and as I was going through his things, I found this little sign. It says, "There's not enough darkness in all of the world to put out the light of even one small candle." And I kind of took it upon myself to volunteer for an organization.
That organization is Camp I Am Me, a week-long summer camp in Lake Moore, Illinois for child burn survivors like Sycamore native Bryce Tran, who fell into a campfire when he was just 3 years old.
Just going there allows me to have a lot of fun with people who've had like similar experiences as me and people that are about the same age as me, maybe older sometimes. And I can do like activities and stuff like that.
I realized that there's healing within my story, that I can be the light for just one person and change the direction of one person's life. Then I know that my dad's life meant something and that he won't be forgotten.
The Flames still has spots open for their first annual Sand Volleyball Tournament fundraiser, and more information on that can be found at our website, mystateline.com. Mimi?
All right, thanks so much, Blake. The Auburn and North Main roundabout just reopened to traffic, but it will close again later this week. On Thursday, City of Rockford Public Works will close the eastbound and northbound lanes of the roundabout. They'll be working on repairing the flagpole in the center of Veterans Memorial Circle. The mechanism to lower and raise the flag's broken. The lanes will be closed from 4 a.m. until around 6:30 that morning. An entire village in Ogle County will be without water tomorrow. Creston says it's trying to fix a water main leak starting at 8 a.m. Water will be shut off to the entire village. Officials encourage people to stock up on bottled water. Once water's restored, a boil order will go into effect, possibly until Friday.
There's a new place to play in Belvedere. The Cottonwood Playground is next to the River's Edge Rec Center. This replaces an old playground from 1997. The Park District says it had quite a bit wear and tear on it. So the new playground has your regular staples like slides and swings, as you can see here. But there are also some new features.
Playgrounds, as this one, has a rope climbing feature. So it gives a different play area for kids to play and explore and navigate. This also has some inclusive features, such as the ramp that leads up to the main playground, the merry-go-round that's in the back of the playground, and then a couple of the swings as well.
Around the World demo the playground. They will refurbish it and send it overseas to a country that needs a playground for their community. Summer in the state line means there's lots to do outside.
From music in the park to checking out public pools, Rockford Park District's gearing up for a busy week, kicking off summer events.
And tonight at 10, a summer challenge. Local students encouraged to put down the phone, the electronics, and pick up a book.
And keeping an eye on a couple of thunderstorms moving through portions of Carroll County, now into southern Joe Daviess County. Heavy rainfall and winds gusting close to 50 miles per hour will be possible here as that scattered storm threat continues when it moves out. Coming up in the First Horn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Hello, mic check, thanks.
So it's basically summer, maybe not on the calendar, but we're certainly feeling it. And hopefully most will be able to spend a lot of time outside just enjoying the weather.
The Rockford Park District's getting ready to open some of its iconic summer spots. Rianne Wiles stopped by Sand Park Pool and Sinisippi Park to find out what we can look forward to this summer. Rianne?
That's right, Mimi, Wendell. I spoke with members of Rockford Park District who are excited to show off some of Rockford's best in just a few days. But for now, they have to find a way to get rid of the current guests.
After months of preparation and cleaning, the wait is over. These guys will soon have plenty of company as Rockford Park District's Sand Park Pool officially opens for the season Saturday.
I think everyone's they're always excited to come here, even on some of those cooler days that we might get throughout the summer after a storm or anything like that. But no, everyone's always super excited to come out, get their feet wet a little bit, just hang out, a place to get away from all the normal stresses of life. So we're glad to be that option for them.
Aquatic Supervisor Bailey Beard says they're expecting a great turnout, with numbers as high, if not higher, than the past few years.
Past couple of years, we've seen attendance, coming out of COVID, bump up every single year. Last year we had huge spikes at Harkins and Alpine, and hopefully we see that again this year. So keep that rolling.
On the drier side, Sinisippi Park's Music Shell is getting ready for its first concert of the summer this Thursday night. Taking the stage will be Kashmir, a Led Zeppelin tribute band, one that Director of Operations David Spencer is looking forward to.
Just a great band. A lot of folks come out looking forward to that. Just looking forward to kicking off the season with that great rock and roll and a whole lot of people.
Spencer says the Music Shell is unique to the community for many reasons.
It brings the entire community together. It's young and old. It's black and white. It's everything under the sun. So once again, it's been going since 1972. So people know it. People come out. They like it. We've got great staff here. It's just a great place for the community to gather.
Spencer also said there will be a variety of concerts throughout the summer that feature local, regional, and national bands, and much more. As for the pools, visitors can expect Alpine and Harkins pools to be open next Saturday, June 15th. Mimi, Wendell.
Sounds good. All right, thanks, Rianne. Well, more rain and storms headed our way.
But that means less humidity. Coming up, Candace is tracking that rain for tonight and when it should dry up.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, the skies are turning a little more dark across the area as we now have some scattered thunderstorms moving in from south to north. Right now, no active warnings in place. We still do hold on to that isolated severe risk here as we look throughout this evening. The biggest threats with any of the thunderstorms that'll move through, not only going to be some frequent lightning, but also some very heavy rainfall as these storms are slowly moving to the north and northeast at about 35 miles per hour, but also some strong gusty winds. Now we're starting to see the storm coverage pick up a little more here to the northwest. In fact, the storm's moving through portions of Carroll County, getting into southern and south central Joe Daviess County, capable of winds maybe upwards of 50 miles per hour. These have been very slow moving too, so some minor flooding will be possible with that, maybe even some pea-sized hail. We also look at the thunderstorm as it's moving in across portions of southwest Winnebago County, so just to the south there of Pecatonica, southeast of German Valley and Rydot. Some very heavy rainfall will also be possible. Now these storms are forming out ahead of an area of low pressure, and then we've got a cold front back off to the west, both of which really squeezing that moisture in here across northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin, which is why these storms will be very efficient at not only producing some very heavy rainfall, but also that potential for some localized flooding. Now as we go through this evening, all storms through tonight will be responsible for lightning and heavy rain. The strongest storms, as I mentioned, the winds may be upwards of 68 miles per hour. That's if we see them reach that severe threshold. If not, we could have some thunderstorms at least with a 50 mile per hour wind gust. Now that is not going to be widespread. That'll be isolated here as we go through this evening, but those scattered thunderstorms are expected to continue. So as we go through time with Futurecast, notice as that low pressure system moves closer to us, even through the 9-10 o'clock hour, we still do have those thunderstorms moving through. As the cold front passes, that severe threat goes down, but we maintain some of that heavier rainfall until the cold front passes tomorrow morning. So we don't really get a lot of that dry air to move in until tomorrow afternoon, when our wind direction begins to shift a little more to the west and northwest. Now while we see a return of sunshine for tomorrow, an increase in moisture ahead of kind of the second cold front comes in tomorrow night. So cloud cover comes back in just before sunrise, and there are likely to be a couple of spotty showers that'll move through during the evening time frame. Those will move out after midnight. Winds will pick up from the northwest on Thursday. While we do see some sunshine, it'll be a windy day, so it may feel a little cooler Thursday afternoon. Winds on Thursday, however, will be gusting close to 35 miles per hour, and we'll keep those drier conditions there even as we head into the weekend. Just a small chance for maybe a quick passing shower or two. Temperature right now cooler off to the west where the rain is coming down. Notice the 60s and the 70s. 83 still here in Rockford, 80 in Rochelle, same thing in DeKalb, and 79 right now in Janesville. 81 for tomorrow. We're 75 with the wind on Thursday, keeping with those 70s as we head through the weekend.
Candace, thank you.
Scott's next with sports. It's Chicago against Chicago tonight on the Baseball Diamond. Scott looks ahead to the first Crosstown Classic matchup.
And rookie quarterback Caleb Williams has another great opportunity to get a feel for his Bears teammates this week.
Robert unloads and unties the game. It's 4-3. I always have the debate about pitch selection. It's all mostly about execution.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
One Chicago baseball team will get some relief from its misery tonight at Wrigley Field. The White Sox and Cubs will go head-to-head in the first game of a brief two-game series. Chris Flexen and Shota Imanaga will be the starting pitchers. Sox have lost their last 11 games. The Cubs have dropped 9 in their last 11. Game time is 7:05, weather permitting. Overall, in this Crosstown Classic over the years, the Sox have the lead. They won 74 games. The Cubs have won 68. Major League Baseball has cleared Shohei Ohtani of any wrongdoing in that gambling scandal involving his former interpreter. MLB officials made that decision quickly today after the interpreter pled guilty in court to bank and tax fraud. MLB officials say Ohtani was simply a victim of fraud on the part of that former interpreter, who allegedly stole $17 million of Ohtani's money to place illegal sports bets and to pay off gambling debts. Well, the Bears were back at work today at Halas Hall for the first day of minicamp. Their OTA workouts in recent weeks were voluntary. This camp is mandatory. Caleb Williams performed well, but he was picked off by safety Kevin Byard. The defense dominated the offense in the 2-minute drill workouts. Bears will be on the practice field again tomorrow and on Thursday. Well, running backs do still get paid in the NFL if their name is Christian McCaffrey. The 49ers have extended his contract by 2 more years, making him under contract for a total of 4 years. He'll make an average of $19 million a season with the new deal. McCaffrey accounted for more than 2,000 yards of offense and 21 touchdowns last season. Novak Djokovic won't be repeating as the men's French Open champion this year. He's withdrawn from the tournament with a knee injury. He tore the meniscus in his right knee in a match Monday. We'll see if he can be ready to go for Wimbledon. That starts July the 1st. Pro Wrestling will be back in action in Rockford this Saturday night. Damage Inc. Pro Wrestling will hold its latest show called Summer Brawl 2024. Wrestlers will climb into the ring. They include Vic Capri, Aaron Xavier, Bosnia War Child, Shelley the Bombshell, and the Brothers of Construction. It'll happen as usual at the Teamsters Hall on South 11th Street. The doors open at 5:30. The action will begin at 6:30. For more info, go to Damage Inc. Pro Wrestling.